Welcome to another tutorial. In this episode, we'll be installing WordPress from CPanel Control Panel. Please like and subscribe to see more videos like this one. Let's get into it. So there are three ways to install WordPress from cPanel. The first way is using the WordPress Toolkit. In order to use the toolkit, we'll scroll down from our control panel view. Right to the bottom, we should see a little tab that says WordPress Toolkit. Going to click on that. And then on the top left, we will see an Install tab. Click on Install. And here we will need to fill out a couple of details. Firstly, the installation path. So we have our main domain here. Make sure that you've selected HTTPS instead of HTTP. Our domain name. If you have variable domains on your hosting account, you'll be able to select it here. And then the subpath. If we want the WordPress installation to be the main site that we see when navigating to our main domain, we're going to take out the installation path. Then we can select a WordPress title. So if you want to have your name for your WordPress site over here, you can type that in. It is not necessary as it can be changed later. Then we have plugin theme set to choose from. Now we can select some pre-installed themes and plugins over here, but it is not necessary. That can also be done later. Our website language and then our version of WordPress. The best here would be to select the current version. Then we have our WordPress administrator username and password. Now these details here are auto-generated. The password typically is fine to use as is. Make sure that you don't put anything that is not unique. So you want something that is very difficult to guess. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that as is. Next, we will have here our email address. Now this is for any kind of communication that WordPress will send to you. So make sure that it is an email account that you have access to and will receive those important notifications. Next, we have a database drop-down. Database settings typically we don't need to change. These are auto-generated and they are normally at random, so they are quite secure. We can leave that as is. The next drop-down would be for automatic updates. Recommended is not to do major updates automatically, as this can sometimes break your site. That, as well as the plugin and themes updates, if we set this automatically, sometimes it can cause an issue, and then to track back which update caused that issue is very difficult. So what we will do here is say yes, but only the minor security updates. Next, we're going to go ahead and click the install button. When our installation is complete, we'll get this little pop-up that asks us if we want to install plugins now. Again, we can do that later, so we're going to click on no thanks. We're going to minimize this little details bar. And then under installations, if we scroll down, we should see our new website over here. And from here, we can just click on the login button. And that should take us to our new fresh installed site. And there we go, there's our dashboard, and we can click on our website name and visit site. And there we go, our new site is installed with our WordPress Toolkit. The second way to install WordPress on CPanel is to use the Softaculous Auto App Installer. Again, we're going to scroll down until we find the Softaculous button. We're going to click on that, and depend on your control panel setup, you might have more than one app in this area here. You'll have to go to the search bar over here and then just type in WordPress and enter, and that should bring you up to the WordPress app. Now all we need to do is just click on install now. Again, similar details as the WordPress Toolkit, our installation URL. Again, make sure to select HTTPS, the domain that you want to install for, and the directory. Again, if you want to install this into the root directory, you're going to just leave this directory blank. Again, we can add our site name and we can add a site description. Again, this can be changed later. Our admin account details, please do not leave this as admin. You want something extremely unique to make sure that your website is as safe and secure as possible. You can normally use the auto-generated passwords, but make sure to keep it safe and secure so nobody knows about it. Then you have your admin email again. Again, make sure that this email is reachable and that you'll receive all the notifications. You'll receive things like updates and security information. And then we have got our language. Again, we will just leave this at English, and then the option to select whether we want plugins to be pre-installed. Again, this can be installed later, so there's no need to do it right now. Under advanced options, again, we have database details. These are generated automatically and we do not have to change them unless you really want to. Under auto upgrade, always upgrade minor versions only, just so that we make sure that our website is stable. Next, click on install. There we have it. Softaculous has successfully installed our WordPress installation. We can now simply click on the administrative URL button over here and access our WordPress dashboard. And that's it, all done. Now the next way to install WordPress from CPanel is to do it manually. Now firstly we'll have to go to WordPress.org and download the latest version of WordPress. We will then need to upload those files into our CPanel hosting account and then manually create a database, do the configuration, and hopefully we have a WordPress site. So firstly, let's go to WordPress.org. On the WordPress.org website, all we need to do is click on Get WordPress. And then we're going to click on Download WordPress 5.7.1, which is currently the latest version. There are two ways to upload our files to our CPanel control panel. The first way would be to use the built-in file manager, and the second way is to do it through an FTP account through a software like FileZilla. For this tutorial, we'll be doing it through the file manager as it is already built in and easier to do. We'll click on File Manager. Then we will navigate to the public HTML folder. Now this is your default folder for your domain. If you have multiple domains, you'll have to select the correct folder for that. But if it is your main domain, you will simply upload it directly in this folder. Alternatively, we will do it in a different folder. So we will add a new folder by the plus sign. We will call this one WP. It will be located in public HTML, and we will click create new folder. So navigate to the folder where you want WordPress installed. If it is your main site, again directly in your public HTML folder. We're going to hit the upload button, and we will need to drag the file that we've just downloaded in the top bottom left here and drag it onto where it says drop files here to start uploading. Great, once we hit 100%, we can click go back, and we will see that our WordPress folder has been installed here. Now we do need to extract all these files to this folder for it to work. So we're going to select the file, which is .zip, and we will click on extract. And where would we want to extract it? Yes, in that same folder. So we click on extract files. We can view the progress by scrolling down and close the pop-up. Now we have a new folder that says WordPress. However, we need these files to be in the folder where we want them. So click on one of the files, click on select all, and then we're going to click on move. It will ask us in this little navigation bar where we want to move it to. We want it in our main folder, in this case either public HTML if it is your main domain, or in the folder that you've created, and then click on move files. We're going to go back to our folder, and here we go, all our WordPress files are here. We're going to delete the extraction folder. What we need to do next is delete the zip file as well, as we don't need it anymore. And then we need to go back to our main CPanel page in order to create a database for WordPress. So we're going to go back to CPanel, and then we're going to look for MySQL databases. We need to name our new database. Again, try and make this as random as possible. Calling it a WordPress database is not the securest way to do it. And we click on create database. Great, our database is created, but we still need to add a user for that database. This is how WordPress will actually log into that database. So we're going to scroll down until we see MySQL users, and we will create a new user with a password. Again, make sure that these are as random as possible. You can also use the password generator. Make sure to copy your passwords to a safe place in case you lose them. We will also need them for the actual WordPress config setup. And create user. So we still need to add the user to the database in order for WordPress to use it. First, go under user dropdown and select the user we just created. Then select the database we just created and click on add. We want to give WordPress all privileges in order to be able to create and edit files. Click on the all privileges button and then make changes. Now we can simply navigate to our WordPress domain name and we'll be presented with the WordPress installation instructions. First is to select our language. We'll leave that on English and click continue. Now we will be asked to do a couple of configurations. Now it will be our database name, our database username, database password, and the host. Next, we'll click on Let's Go. Now we will fill out these details as per our previous steps, our database name, username, and password, and then we will click on Submit. Alright, next click on Run the installation. We will be asked for our site title, our username. Again, remember to make this as unique as possible. And for the password, we're going to use this auto-generated one, as that will be quite safe. enter your admin email account. Again, remember this is where all the notifications will come from. And then click Install WordPress. And there we go, success, our WordPress installation has been installed. We can now click log in and we will type in our newly created username and password and the login button. And there we go, we are now logged into our new WordPress dashboard. We can now go again and visit our website, or we can start adding our content.